do. I'm doing what I got to do. Got to do. Got to do. I forgot to type that in. Usually I type that in sooner. I blame myself.
Google Pixel 3 has fast charge. Fast charge is really amazing because, guys,
That's because I played this song like 5 times in the last week, so now they put a big ad on it. They're not stupid.
The party was jumping when Bertha got off of her stump. The whistles were blowing and everybody did the bump. But all the time Bertha had been working on a goodie. Now folks call it the Bertha Butt Boogie. When Bertha Butt did a goodie, she started the Bertha Butt Boogie. No question.
Yes, 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 and one more yes for good luck. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Glenda. I am your host, Scotty Bonner. What an absolute blessing, honor, and privilege it is to be here with you today. I want to welcome you to Glenda. Welcome to Glenda, and when you're on Glenda, you are family, so I am nowhere near enough of a wordsmith to capture how excited I am that you are here today, that I am here today, that we are here together. I skate, you skate, we skate. Lane Meyer there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get my frosty, trusty beverage over. You got the old bubbly going today. Salute. So if you're a fan of the show, and I know that you are, and I thank you for it, we always start off the Welcome to Glenda morning program by giving each other our... oh, wait a minute. What? That should be silent. You should be quiet. You need to know your role, phone. Hush. Well, that was an important update, though. I think it was about some sort of scheduling. Did something change? I'm not afraid to do this. Let me say, hold on. What was that? What? Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. I can't find it. Oh, well, I'll check it out later. Anyway, when you're on Glenda, ladies and gentlemen, you're family. So, like I said, whether you come, by my side of the street, a little bit of sauce, go across the street, get gravy. It's all good. But on Glenda, we always start off the morning show with our Glenda Moose morning salute to one another. So if you're new to the show, I'll go over the instructions for you. If you're a veteran, KG veteran fan of the show, then, it's a good 10, 15 seconds to get your faculties together for the show, get yourself in order in there. My co-host, Lord Stanley's here with me today. He's on the couch making sure things are right and tight, in charge of security over there. He's hanging out. He's still going strong. Pushing, he'll be coming up on 15. He's more than 14 and a half years old, but he's the old charge pup, the old co-host, the old backbone of the organization here, and definitely in charge of security in the home. So what you do, ladies and gentlemen, is you take your beautifully designed and created with a very delicate purpose to do things of this ilk and write inscriptive, which I know they frown upon, but that's another story for another time. Opposable thumbs. You depress them upon your temples like such. You take your digits and you cross them in front of you. The crossing's optional, but is an option. Is optional. It's you don't have to do it. But I think especially if you're doing it with somebody for the first time, I think it's good to do because I think it really increases the peacockness of what we're trying to do here with the moose salute. So take your thumbs, depress them upon your temple. Now again, we've gone over this. Safety second here on the show. We stress that. Do not depress too hard on the temples because it is a vasodilator stimulant, and you can cause vasodilation to the cranial blood flow, therefore causing the salutor or salutee to render themselves unconscious. And listen, if that's what you want to do it. But I'm just telling you, that's not. I have to. My lawyers told me I have to read that disclaimer. So don't push too hard on your temples, okay? So depressing your opposable created thumbs for picking things up beautifully, perfectly designed, onto your temples, crossing your digits downward and thrusting your thorax downward in a downward-like motion, and then you're going to come up and burst upwards like a sunflower towards the sun. As we salute one another here on Glenda. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, the Moose salute. And welcome to Glenda. Now the show is officially underway. Oh my, we've got so much to get to today because yesterday I got to so little. I'm not really sure what happened yesterday. There was just poor time management. You would think perhaps being in the medical field for as long as I was that my time management skills would be more apropos or better or, more manageable, I guess you would say. But, yeah, I had more on the list that I didn't get to yesterday than things that I did get to. But you know what? Like Mark McGuire, ladies and gentlemen, who, told the Senate panel on steroids, we are not here to talk about the past, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about the future. And let me tell you something. Your future is bright when you're on Glenda, and you are on Glenda. So welcome to Glenda. So last night we got to we had nowhere to go last night. No hockey, no nothing. Tiddlywinks Club, no chess club, no nothing. Monday nights we don't have anywhere to go on Monday. I think it's the only night of the week where there's none of the kids are doing anything, and I don't think the wife's bridge club meets on Monday nights. Or anything of that ilk. So we had a nice night planned. Blah blah blah. We said all day Sunday. I thought there was a movie. That the boy wanted to see, and I blame myself. Truly, this was a. I can't believe that I went this long until seeing this film because I wanted to see the film. And usually, when I want to see a film, this was actually a film that I actually would have borderline get me out to the movies to go see because the prior one to it was so excellent. But I didn't, and then I don't know what happened. It kind of slipped through the cracks, It was like it's like here, and there's a tiny little crack in the movie, and it fell through, and I forgot that I hadn't seen it. I forgot that us as a family have not seen it, and it was high on my list. The first two were excellent. So without any more suspense, I'm not going to keep you waiting and guessing. As to what we watched last night. So we watched finally last night, long overdue. It's been out, I think it's been out about a year. I think it came out last summer. I feel shame. If you want to lace into me about it, go ahead. I understand. I deserve it. We're here, when you're on Glenda, like I said, we're family, and, we're honest on Glenda, so I dropped the ball. I owe my children an apology, although my daughter didn't watch the movie. She was watching her phone. She said that it was too scary for her. I don't know. I owe my wife an apology. I owe the dogs an apology. I owe the cats an apology. I owe, everybody. I owe you guys, the world, an apology. Anybody in my circle, anybody that my tentacles, NT, can reach out and touch, which is really vast nowadays with technology. And I owe an apology. Huge fans of the show. Big shout out, guys. Keep circling the way you do. So, finally last night, saw War for the Planet of the Apes, the third and I guess final installment of the Ape films. I don't know if you guys are fans of the Ape films out there. I was a huge, and still am, a huge fan of the original with Charlton Heston. Get your hands off me, you damn dirty apes. Great legendary sci-fi movie of all time. Iconic film. If you haven't seen it, no spoilers, but of course one of the most iconic endings to a film, which back then, probably was really shocking to everybody because there wasn't as many switcheroo, John Christopher Nolan type endings, where they took the movie and turned it on its head in the last 5 minutes. But besides that, it was a great sci-fi and legendary film, the original one. Then they had that remake. I guess it was like early 2000s. I don't know. Where they kind of remade the film they did try to, I guess, with Marky Mark. And the big problem with that film was that it was just a Tim Burton film. Tim Burton films are absolute hot garbage. Whatever. Not a good filmmaker, in my opinion. The Batman was a debacle, especially the second one. The first one you can argue was good, but I think it's so much better because of who's in it as opposed to the job he did as a director and a filmmaker in those. But that aside, so they had that remake, and I'm a huge Marky Mark fan. I mean, not just with the Funky Bunch. I'm talking as an actor. I think he's a good actor. I like him. Love him in Ted. He's hysterical in Ted and Ted 2. Very good comedic actor. What was it? That one where he was with Will Ferrell and the other guys. But that remake was, whatever. So then they had the other ones that they went back and told the origin story of how, the apes took over the world and how it led into what was the initial film from the 60s, I guess, 50s. I don't even know. But anyway, the one with Charlton Heston, and these were a 3-film trilogy. I think the first one came out in 2011. I always get them mixed up. I think that was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then I think the second one was Dawn of Planet of the Apes. That was 2014, and then the last one was last year, 2017, which was War for Planet of the Apes. So, as you know, on our show, I never do spoilers. I hate spoilers, and I never assume that anyone's seen the movie. So I don't say, "Oh my gosh, you gotta cover your ears for the next 5-10 minutes," because I'm going to discuss the movie. I'm just going to say that the first 2 films of this trilogy were I loved them both. I loved the first one with, what's his name, Franco, the guy that lost his mind ever since Trump got elected. He's a excellent actor. I thought he was fantastic as Harry Osborn. I was, thoroughly disappointed they didn't basically give him his own movie back then. Not that he would have his own movie, but I thought Spider-Man 3 should have just been about Harry transforming into the Hobgoblin, and then maybe at the end you could have shown the symbiote crashing in the post credits, and I would have made that into Spider-Man 4. But you can't put the genie back in the bottle. They say the toothpaste, you can't get it back in the tube, I guess it is. You can't put the flower back in the ground. But I think he's a fantastic actor. Ideologically, he's, him and I may not see eye to eye, but I've learned in my time to get past those things. I used to not enjoy people's work, musically or entertainingly, if they didn't see eye to eye with me philosophically on things. But I had to get over that because otherwise I wouldn't be able to watch anything. So that was something that I had to do. So the first one shows the how it all began. I'm not going to get into it. And the first one's got John Lithgow in it too, as a supporting role, and John Lithgow is one of my all-time favorite actors. He's one of the best actors in Hollywood all time. I mean, he got, Ricochet. That's all I'm going to say. Excuse me. I apologize. Cliffhanger. End of story. You watch Cliffhanger. You watch John Lithgow. That's how you play a villain. I'll just leave it at that. And then the second one was, so I loved the first one. Loved it. I would say, I'd say 4 out of 5 antlers for the first one. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. For the first one. Second one, I thought it was such which I think the second one was Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The second one was so much different than the first one that it wasn't even like a sequel, but it was a sequel because it was carrying over the same, ape characters. But it moved the story along tremendously. And the second one was so different than the first one. I mean, it was 180 degrees different. It's almost not a sequel, but you have to call it a sequel because, like I said, characters carry over, storyline carries over. So therefore, fits the definition of a sequel. But it was uniquely a standalone film, and I love the second one. Is my favorite. Second one is such a good movie. Love the second one. That one gets 4.5 antlers. So then that's got Gary Oldman who is of course Commissioner Gordon from the 3 Batman films done by the Nolans. So the second one gets 4.5, and that's high. I don't go that high oftenly. So I really wanted to see the third one, and I don't know what happened. And then the other day, we ended up watching the second one again. My son had put it on demand. And I was like, man, we never saw the third one, and I haven't seen the second one in a long time. I don't really remember all the details. I watched it. I'm like, yeah, I knew it was good. I knew I liked it. Watched it again. I'm like, oh, this movie's so good. I love this movie. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. So then we go to look on demand, and the War for the Planet of the Apes is not on there. I'm like, God dang it, son of a... So we were going to have to, somehow use our technology to stream it, find it. We were going to do it. I was focused, get the job done, which obviously I did because we watched it last night. I guess that's a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler. So I was flicking through the guide, I don't know, sometime over the weekend, and I see War for the Planet of the Apes, and it started like 15 minutes ago. I'm like, crud. So, but fortunately, it was on the regular HBO channel. So me being myself and knowing a thing or two about time travel, enjoying films about time travel, hence Planet of the Apes, what I did then was go down the guide to find HBO West, moved a couple hours on the guide, into the future, boom, record, REC for that one. Even had the wherewithal, ladies and gentlemen, to go behind the scenes, duck underneath the the barbed wire and the trip wire and the fences and the landmines, and I went in behind and I made sure that, because our DVR, we taped so many things, I couldn't even tell you. There's everyday things are taped and erased on there. So I went behind and made sure I said do not delete. Usually everything that you record stays on there, so delete when full. But our DVR is always at like 97, 98%. And I could probably go in there, and clean things out. But I mean, who wants, to lose, Mechagodzilla? Not me. So recorded it, and then Lukey wanted to watch it last night. Wanted to watch it Sunday. Football's on, so no. So we agreed we're gonna watch it Monday night after dinner. Boom, had dinner, sat down to watch it. Chili mac last night, leftover chili from Sunday. So that's how you do things. Michelle made the chili on Sunday. Fantastic crock pot chili. If you're a fan of our football podcast on Sundays, keeping it in the family. It's about family food and football. Best football podcast this side of the Mississippi. It recently was rated, which is nice. On thissideofthemississippi.com. And so she took the chili from that the night before, threw in some elbows, boom, chili mac. Done and done, delicious. Had that, did the old cleanup. Lukey put some time in on the cello, which you like to hear and see. Oh, gotta get him a new bow. Don't forget, I gotta get him a new bow. So then, boom, War for Planet of the Apes. And this movie was more like the second movie. Love Woody Harrelson, of course, one of my favorite actors, so him being in it is fantastic. And I saw in the, when I hit the information guy, the guy Zahn, I don't remember his first name, I think it's Steve, but I love the guy, he's a hysterical actor. He is the dad from Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, the original Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. I think they made 3 of them with him and that original cast, and they made another one with a new cast, which I never saw, but I couldn't get really past the what's it called? The trailer on that one just couldn't bring me to see it. And so anyway, I like him. I think he's very funny. I think he's a good actor. So he's in it. And the movie was a lot different than I thought the story was going to go. And I always like when I'm looking forward to seeing a movie, thinking that this is where, okay, it's trajectorying, this way, and then it just, does one of these. It's serpentines, which is nice. I don't get lost, because I know when a target is serpentining, away from you, then you just got to stay straight, because it's always returning back to its, same, vortex. So I don't get lost, but I enjoy when I'm expecting a film, to do this, and the film does this. So this film, I expected this. It did this. Had Woody Harrelson. I didn't think it was as good as the second one, but the second one, I love the second one. Second one's really one of my favorite, I don't know what you list, sci-fi movies or, movies with primates. I mean, there's this, and there's the one with, that Ice Cube sang about with Sigourney Weaver. I don't know. I forgot the name of that one. The Gorillas in the Mist. Yeah. So, I didn't expect it to be as good as the second one, but I thought it was going to be good. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a very good movie. As you know, no spoilers. Love Woody Harrelson. He was fantastic in it, as expected. There were some things about this movie I didn't care for as much as the first two. But not going to get into the details of it because, I feel about the spoiler thing. But overall, enjoyed it. Love all 3 of them. It's a great trilogy, and it really does a really nice job of leading you up to everything that we see when Charlton Heston and his crew crash land to start off the film in the original Planet of the Apes. Which I think it was in the 60s. Now I gotta look it up. See, now you make me look. See, you see what you make me do? See what you make me do? I said I wasn't gonna look it up, and now I'm gonna look it up because I can't not know that. I'm gonna say 1963, and this is a complete and utter guess. It just seemed early. It had that early 60s. Like when you go back and watch that movie, the music in that movie, the way that movie was shot and everything, that movie is very well, what's the word I'm looking for? Alfred Hitchcock-esque tone to that film, the original Planet of the Apes, and that was very relevant around. They did it a lot in the early 60s. Oh, God, it still says Patriots 43 Chiefs for no Planet of the Apes. No, that's not that one. I want the original with Charlton Heston. 1968, like I said, it was right there, late 60s. It screamed late 60s. Everything about it screamed late 60s. So 1968 was when it came out. Charlton Heston. I gotta get my son to watch this now. Now that we just watched what we just watched, I'm just looking to see who wrote it here. No, that's not true. No, okay. No, he did. I had no idea. No idea. Rod Serling wrote Planet of the Apes. Holy cow! I swear, that's me, Mr. Movie Connoisseur. I had no idea. He wrote the screenplay for this based on a novel. Yeah, I knew it was based on a novel by that dude. No way. Mind. Now I gotta go back and watch it again. I loved it beforehand. Let's see this guy. Franklin J. Schaffner was the director. I wonder if he's related to William Schaffner. Was one of the most born in 1920, passed away in 1989. What else did he do? Oh, he did Patton? Wow. The guy who did Planet of the Apes did Patton. Did not know that. What else did he do? Lionheart. Why do I know that movie? The Sphinx. He did a lot of movies. Wow. This guy directed a lot of movies. But anyway, Patton would be the one that I know best, 1972 years later. But wow, Planet of the Apes, I did not know was written by Rod Serling. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Yep, no, right, okay. Yeah, and it really the last movie, Last Night War for the Planet of the Apes, really did a really fantastic job of molding the new three prequels, I guess they are, obviously, trilogies that started in 2011 with the original, which came out, as we know, in 1968. What a year 1968 is, huh? I mean, look back in 1968. You got, okay, obviously now we know Planet of the Apes, written by Rod Serling. I wonder when did Twilight Zone start? Did he do Twilight Zone before that? Wow, I just blown away. I just did not know this. I love this. This is why I love technology. It's so much fun to like find out stuff like this. Oh my gosh, he died at 50? I didn't know he died that young. John Phillips was his name. Didn't know that either. Yep, he was a writer for the Twilight Zone. Oh, from 59 to 64. Okay, and then he wrote Planet of the Apes in 68. Wow, that's amazing. Did not know that. And then he wrote quite a bit of other films. We're gonna see if there's The Enemy Within. I remember that one. What was that? Was that Forrest Whitaker? If memory serves, I've seen it. It is Forrest Whitaker. I'm kind of proud of myself for knowing that. All right. Did not know Rod Serling wrote Planet of the Apes, though. I didn't know. That's awesome. That just made. Sorry for the sniffles, Lynch. That just made that made all three of these films, the original film, Charlton Heston, made everything that I know about primates even better. Primates, right? About georillas, even better. Don't say georilla around here too loud. So if you haven't seen any of these three, I don't think any of them were by any stretch like box office smash hits or anything. But they must have done well, because for them to continue making the three, unless they greenlighted the three right away, which usually studios don't do that. Unless it's like Star Wars or Indiana Jones or anything. But let's not talk about the fourth Indiana Jones, okay? Which was brilliantly, by the way, okay. Dang it. I don't know if I say this. Do I break my own rule? Do I break my own rule if I say this? The judges are looking at me. They don't even know. You know what I'm going to say, right? Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Because if I don't stick to my rules, then you're not going to stick to the rules, and then it's just chaos. And then we got anarchy on the show. However, if you want to, tweet at me at Glenda Love BC, I'll gladly privately tell you where I was going with how it was brilliantly used last week. Tonight being Tuesday night, of course. So tonight, The Flash, episode 2 of the new season. If you missed the season premiere last week, absolutely fabulous. One of my 2 favorite shows on television, that and Krypton. Krypton is just phenomenal. Krypton. If you haven't seen Krypton season 1 on Sci-Fi, go back, stream it, put it on the app, do whatever you gotta do. It was one of the best stories of a show for a season that I have ever recollected, recalled, or have in my memory banks, which there's a vast amount of film and show knowledge in there. Apparently nothing about the Planet of the Apes original as I thought, but I knew Charlton Heston. I remember that. She was one of my grandma's favorite actors. Good old light eyes. So if you haven't seen the 3 Planet of the Apes ones, the first one I believe, like I said, is 2011. I think that was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Second one was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and one last night, the final one was War for the Planet of the Apes. Of course, if you're not a fan of the original one from 1968, we gain knowledge today together. I think that adds to the enjoyment of it. I just remember they used to have the Planet of the Apes movies on like marathons. I don't know how many they ended up making. I only really remember the first one. After that, they got kind of ridiculously cheesy and bad. I think only one other had Charlton Heston. I think he was in it for like 10 minutes at the very end or the beginning or something. I don't know. It just wasn't the same. But there's the first one, and the other ones are just, kind of like I don't know, Halloween or Freddy Krueger or any of those movies. I don't know. I'm not a horror film guy. I'm not a scared because I don't like to be scared. I'll do psychological. I'll do Silence of the Lambs and Alien. That's probably not psychological thriller though. Yeah, I don't really do that many psychological thrillers either. Now that I think about it, although I do like Silence of the Lambs, but I don't do horror. Nope. If you're looking, for horror reviews or a horror show, you're gonna have to change the channel. I apologize, but that's not. I don't like to be scared. I don't like to be scared by the television. There's enough things in this world that scare me, I assure you, and I don't need to pay to be scared. Some people love it, and my wife loves horror movies and scary movies. Nope, not me. Nope. No way. It's dark at night in the house, and I don't need that. So, big opposable thumbs that up for the War for Planet of the Apes. Well, like I said, if you haven't seen the first 2, go back and see it. If you watch the original now, from our perspective now, you'd be like, oh my God, this is cheesy. But you got to remember it was 1968, so they didn't have CGI and things like that. So it was actually the makeup and the I guess the special effects. I don't know if it was special effects. Oh yeah, I guess so. But anyway, the makeup artistry and the costumes from the original movie at the time were quite revolutionary, and it was 5 years before I was even walking on this planet. Well, I wasn't walking on the planet for a couple of years after I was born. I mean, I am kind of a advanced model, for the human species, but I didn't come out walking. At least I don't think I did. So anyway, also something, I'm sure everybody's seen already, but I just wanted to pontificate on it a little bit because it's awesome and it's so cool. Did you guys see that hockey team that came over from Kenya that Tim Hortons brought over? It's been all over the internet and everything. It's really an amazing story. I had never heard of these guys at all. Apparently they have an ice hockey team that in Kenya. And they only practiced and played amongst themselves because they had nobody to play because there was no other teams to play. They had nobody to play. So the NHL and Tim Hortons teamed up, brought the team over, got them really nice sweaters, and really cool when they came over that Sidney Crosby and Nathan McCrimmon from McKinnon or McCrimmon, number 29 from the Avalanche joined them and played, and they got to play a game. I think they're playing a couple of games over here while they're here, and so it's just really cool. It's really cool to see the game spreading all the way to Kenya. That's an amazing job by the guys involved, by Tim Hortons and the kids that are on the team. You just see them playing. You see when Crosby and McKinnon walk in, just the eyes and their faces just light up, and it was amazing. I had no idea, never heard of this team, never, this wasn't hyped like that. This was happening to my knowledge. It just sort of just popped up on the scene to me. It may have been, I missed it. And if you haven't seen it or heard about that story, definitely go check it out. It warms the inner areas right here where when you get warmed there, then it like radiates out and everything else feels warm all the way down to the toes. Although they say 98% of heat goes out through your head and through your feet when you're cold. But if your heart is feeling warm, then everything else, including the head and the toes, will be kept warm. And that's the kind of story that will definitely warm your heart and put a good old big old smile on your face. And if you're a fan of anatomy and physiology, when we smile, we release endorphins, and we feel better. It's a natural phenomenon, or I guess it's not a. Would that be a phenomenon, or would that be it's a natural occurrence. And I have read, for you people at home, I do my homework, when you are smiled upon, so when you are the receiving end of a smile, when somebody's smiling at you, you release twice as many endorphins. So we were made to smile, and this seeing the smiles on these guys' faces and light up when they see Crosby come walking through the door, I just love it. It's awesome. Love that stuff. So good job by Tim Hortons, good job by the NHL, good job by Crosby and McKinnon. I don't know why I keep messing up this guy's name. I know him. I think he's a fantastic player on the ass. McKinnon. Yeah, Nathan McKinnon. And especially a great job by the kids there to come all the way from Kenya. And a great job for them to keep playing when they had no one to play. They didn't quit. They kept playing. I mean, that's awesome. So last night, if you're a fan of the program, you know that we have a lot of things under the Glenda Broadcasting umbrella, and one of our shows is our Friday night show, which is Sophie's Sports and Toy Emporium. Real quick, it's my daughter Sophie. She, opens up toys like 18,000 kids do on the internet, except the twist to our show that makes it better, different, and one, it helps her with math. Her math grades have gone through the roof since we've been doing this. And two, forces us to spend time together, which, I don't care. I'll trick my kids to spend time with me any way I can. I don't care. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I will sink to any kind of low to do it. So, what we do is she picks a winner each night, a lock each night, that she says is going to win. And if she wins, each lock is worth $3. So at the end of the week, she can have a total of $21. Also on her hockey team, if she scores, each goal is worth 3 locks. So she scored on Sunday, her first ever goal, and my son scored on Saturday too. So it was a nice weekend here in the Bonner home. Lots of goal scoring going on. I was a goaltender, so I have no idea what that feels like. I didn't score ever in any competitive games until I was in my 40s. And what a brilliant goal it was too on the Salmon Kings. I buried him into the cooker. No one was gonna stop me in my eyes. Really? You're not part of the show. Excuse me. Hello, McFly. Hello, McFly. My cat, whom I don't even like this cat, jumped up here. You gotta get down. This cat, the reason I don't like this cat is because he's probably gonna slice me in half. She's not a nice cat. You are not a nice animal. If it was the other cat's fantastic. Not that I don't like her. She's just like, a lot of times she'll come up to you, purr, you go to pet her, and then, like, what? Why? Why? And so she's over here now purring and rubbing up against my leg. No, I'm not gonna pet you. Don't trust you. The other cat's phenomenal. No, go away. But you've lost there's no trust here. There's just no trust. So she makes a pick a night, and if she gets it right, she gets a lock. So this week so far, going into to last night's game, she was -1 on that, but she scored, so she was +2. Long story short, she had the Predators giving a goal and a half against the Wild, so good job, Sophie. She is now up to a +3 for the week, which, if my math is correct, that is $9 American. And this includes to also teach a lesson. One, it helps her with math, but she has to the imperial entanglements, also known as tax. Daddy doesn't cover that. That has to come out of there. So if she goes to the store and has let's say 3 locks, plus 3, she has $9. She can't get something for $9. Or she has learned about, taxation. She's learned about representation. She's learned about taxation without representation. So she knows that the invisible hand of of the government takes a little piece of her lock every time we exchange money with the store. So these are life lessons, ladies and gentlemen. You may laugh at my technique, but the message, the point, and the love and the discipline is getting across because she does do her homework. She's very disciplined about who she picks. So I'll let you know this evening. She makes her picks in the evening. It'll be on the internet, so just look out for that. And her show is Friday nights at 9 o'clock. That's Sophia's Sports and Toys Emporium. It's a big hit with the kids and the dads, across this great land, the fruited plains. So Sophie had that, so she was right. My lock of the night, I like to hand out a lock every day. My lock was unlocked. My lock failed last night. I had the Leafs and the Kings. I gave out the over for that. It was 6 goals. Leafs win the game 4-1. Last I checked, 4 plus 1 equals 5. I'm just doing quick math here, which is definitely less than 6. So that's a big L for me. So I thought that one was looking good. It was 3-1 early in the second. I checked on it before we put on the Apes movie, and just thought the Kings would at least get a couple in there. They didn't get the job done. I actually thought the Leafs might cover the 6 by themselves. So I feel shame. So today I feel shame. But I had 3. I was 3 for 4 over the weekend. So totally going in from Saturday till today. Now I've got 3. I'm 3 and 2. 3 and 2. I gave out a little extra one there because it was the weekend. So I'm 3 and 2, and we'll see. We'll have another one for you tonight. Write it down. Lock it up. Last night, of course, there was a Monday night tilt that went on. The Packers of Green Bay took on the 49ers of San Francisco. And, of course, what would, an NFL game be without coming down to the last second and, controversy on a couple of plays. Aaron Rodgers was sacked there on that play, and then there was a holding call or something down the field. They got to, redo the play, and then, Aaron Rodgers made a couple of phenomenal passes, a couple of phenomenal catches. He is, really? Seriously? What? No, go away. I thought we talked about this. He's on the 15 to 20 yard out pattern. He is a sniper. I have to say that. Of course, the world is. I'm trying to keep it PG here. The world is in love with Aaron Rodgers. The sports world, that is, the broadcasters, the announcers, everybody. He's a good quarterback. He's good. He's a really good quarterback. But I would have to say, in my biased, opinion, the 3rd greatest quarterback, 4th greatest quarterback of this generation. You got Brady, Breeze, and Manning. I don't know if I'm going to put Breeze ahead of Manning, Manning ahead of Breeze. It's so hard. You got Brady, Breeze, and Manning, and then I'd put Rodgers at number 4 of this generation. Everybody wants to, every time he does some crazy stuff like he did last night, how great he is. I heard a couple of people saying the Packers would be, a 3-win team without Aaron Rodgers, and blah, blah, blah. How many wins do you think the Patriots would have without Tom Brady? How many wins would the Saints have without Drew Brees? It is what it is. I have no idea who the Saints' backup is. I couldn't tell you. The Patriots' backup is Brian Hoyer. Used to be Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sure we all are familiar with that. We all know how that story ended. Boy meets girl. Boy falls in love with girl. Boy loses girl in a tragic blimp accident over the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Good year? No. The worst. So we know how that ended. But I've been saying to all you people, not that I wanted him to get hurt ever. I never would say that about a player. I truly don't want that. But he's not as good as everybody made him out to be. He doesn't even have a great arm. Call me crazy. He's good, but he's not, he's not what everybody's making him out to be. So, everybody's going crazy about Aaron Rodgers yet again. He's on top of the world. I think that brought the Packers to, let's see here. I got the standings ready. Because that division, just like every division in the NFC, with the exception of the West, with the Rams, was really completely up for grabs. There's NFL standings. There it is. I Haha, I was prepared. I mean, the AFC, you can say pretty much the same thing, but, AFC East, you got the Patriots and the Dolphins and the Jets, and, Patriots are only tied with the Dolphins, a game ahead of the Jets, but, they beat the Dolphins, so they're half game up, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, the divisions in the AFC are definitely all still up for grabs. The NFC East is completely up for grabs. The NFC West is not. Rams are 6-0, next closest team. The Seahawks 3-3, and they already beat the Seahawks in Seattle. So yeah, this division here, the NFC North, or the NFC Norris, as Chris Berman I used to like the way he referred to it. You got the Bears of Chicago, the Windy City, 3-2. Packers of Green Bay, they're 3-2-1. So 3-2-1 is worse than 3-2. Okay. The Vikings are 3-2-1, and then the Lions are 2-3. So that division is completely up in the air. And I know the Bears are playing the Patriots this week. I think that's in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep, that is in Chicago, and the Packers. Oh, Packers next game they got a bye. Wow. Oh boy. Look at this. Packers come off of their bye. And then on the 28th, they're at the Rams for a Sunday afternoon affair out in L.A. Then, is that a Thursday? No, that's not Thursday. Then the next Sunday after that is a Sunday night affair at Foxborough. Oh, my. We'll find out who the best quarterback is then, Mr. Rodgers. You watch that game. You watch Tom Brady throw for about 400 and something yards and 5 touchdowns. Mark my words. Write it down. And then they're home against the Dolphins. And then they're at Seattle. Then they're at Minnesota. Ooh, this is a brutal run after their bye. They got the Rams, the Patriots. They're at the Rams, at the Patriots. Home against the Dolphins is, I guess, their easiest game. At Seattle, still never easy. And then I'm telling you, Seattle's going to be right in the mix of the playoff things, just because 8-8, 9-7 is going to make the playoffs in the NFC. And then they're at the Vikings. Oh man, they've got 8-20. They have 3 Sunday night games all in the mix there, which I understand. The Packers are a big draw. Aaron Rodgers is a big draw. So they're going into their bye week at 3-2-1, coming off of that win yesterday against the Niners. The other divisions are still, everything's still tight, but it's early in the year, so that's to be expected. The only division I would say that's kind of in hand would be the Rams at 6-0 in the NFC West. So we'll see. We'll see where the Packers. Let's check back with the Packers after these 5 games, shall we? So 6 weeks from now, you and I will sit back. We'll say, remember when the Packers were 3-2-1? I'll tell you what. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you where the Packers are going to be at the end. I love when people look at teams and say whether they're going to win or lose games, because you can't tell in the NFL who's going to win or lose games anyway. So let's do it. At the Rams, not going to happen. At the Patriots, not going to happen. So that's 3-2-1, 3-3-1, 3-4-1. I'll say they beat the Dolphins at home, so that puts them at 4-4-1. Seahawk game, that's a 50-50 toss-up. I can't even pick that game. I'm going to give that a tie, 4-4-2. And then they're at Minnesota. No, I'm not going to win in Minnesota. So they're gonna after the Minnesota game, they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games remaining. They're going to go into the. Let me see. Let me make sure my math is right here. 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 4-4-2. 4-5-2. They're gonna come out of the Minnesota game at 4-5-2, ladies and gentlemen. Write it down. Which will put them right in the midst of the playoff hunt. But that Seattle game, that game in Seattle is gonna be huge. That's on 11/15. Is that a Saturday? I want to say 11/15 is a Saturday. Wait a minute. Just a tick here. No, it's a Thursday. I think it's a Thursday, 11/15. Hold on, I'm going to go to my handy-dandy calendar here, because I'm looking at it. Let's see. October, November. Oh, wait, did I say 11? 11/15 is a... Yeah, 11/15. That's a Thursday night affair. Wow. Who do the Seahawks have the week before? Let's see. The Seahawks are home, so that's a long way to go on a Thursday night. And 11/11, the Seahawks are at the Rams. So they're at the Rams, so they're on the West Coast, so they're just going to stay on the West Coast, shoot back up to Seattle, and wait for Green Bay to come into town. And Green Bay, the week before that, where did I say they were? Was that New England? No, they're home against Okay, so they're home against the Dolphins, and they got to fly out to Seattle for Thursday. Wow, that's a tough Thursday night draw there. And then they come back, and they're at Minnesota. Oh no, I do not like. Don't no. So I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna actually retract that. I'm gonna say they're gonna lose that game in Seattle. I didn't realize that was a Thursday night game in Seattle. That's a lot of traveling in a short amount of time there. So they're gonna be 4-5-1 after those next 5 games. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. So we'll see if Aaron Rodgers is still the greatest quarterback of all time when that's all said and done. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's wrong. Speaking of Seattle, I guess their owner passed away. I don't really know too much about Paul Allen. Except he was a gazillionaire. Bought Seattle, got him. Funny, we went to Seattle one time, a whole bunch of us, go see the Seahawks when they were really good with, like, in their Sean Alexander good days. 2003. We went there for, it was Halloween of 2003, so we're talking, 15 years ago. Really? God, that's terrible. So 15 years ago, so if my math is correct, that puts me at 30 years old. Yeah, I was 30 years old, Halloween in Seattle. And I remember we went and we were on some train or something, and we were somehow talking about the Seahawks and the stadium. And some dude on the train. Now remember, this is Seattle. Okay, this is freaking this is Hippieville, Antifa headquarters now of America. It was the guy. We were talking about Seattle. We're talking about the Seahawks, and we're going to the game. We're all fired up. There was about 8 or 9 of us. Flew out. To go to the game. My brother's a huge Seahawks fan. One of our buddies was a huge Steeler fan, so we went out for the game. And I just remember the guys talking about the stadium, and the guy said, "Oh, that eyesore." He referred to their stadium, which I don't even know what it's called now. I think at the time it was Quest State. I don't know. Stadiums all the time. But have you seen the Seattle Seahawks Stadium? Now, something that happened with the Seahawks Stadium that really bothered me and shocked me was the open end. You used to be able to see the skyline of Seattle out of the open end of the stadium. It was really cool. And then somebody put up some buildings there, and now you see those buildings, which, I mean, smart for that guy. I guess you get your buildings right on TV all the time, but it's definitely not as aesthetically pleasing. But the Seattle Seahawks Stadium, as stadiums go, I don't know exactly when it was built. Obviously, it's been there for more than 15 years. It was a couple of years old by the time we got there. Wasn't its first season, I know that. It was probably there a couple of seasons already. So it's been there probably pushing 20 years now. Really? Here we go again, folks. I got to look it up. I can't not know. I got to look it up. I don't even know the name of the stadium. But we went there in 2003, and it's just a beautiful piece of architecture. It's just beautiful to look at. I mean, as far as stadiums go, and I'm a stadium guy, it is aesthetically pleasing to look at. And the guy was like, "Oh, that eyesore." So anyway, that tells you all you need to know about the city of Seattle. Beautiful to look at, and I don't mind the rain nearly as much as I minded the folk. We'll just say that. Seattle Seahawks Stadium was built in, now it says 2016. That's not correct. No, Seattle CenturyLink Field. It was not built in 2005 because I went there in 2003. 18,000 things telling me about when it was named this and named that. I don't care. Okay, so it was built in 2002. Okay, so we were the second season of the stadium, and it is a very, very nice place to see a football game. It's a very, very nice place to drive by. It's just a very, still today. So it was built in 2002. So this is 2018. So it's 16 years old. It still is a modern looking, aesthetically pleasing building to look at, and this gentleman felt the need to refer to it as an eyesore. So we'll just leave it at that. So, but I don't see Green Bay flying all the way out to Seattle on a Thursday night, even with the mighty Aaron Rodgers, the God among men, walking among us, getting the job done that Thursday night. So put Green Bay at 4-5-1. after their next 4, which I think is 1-4. So anyway, I just I get a little defensive, I guess. I get a little uptight when everybody gets on the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon. It happens 2-3 times a year, And he's incredible. He pulls games out of his wahoo, more often than not. He makes incredible plays, But I don't know. He's not. I don't know. Something about him. He's not Manning, Breeze, or Brady in your host's humble opinion. But I digress. We are inching, ladies and gentlemen, as time progresses onward. And it always does every day. We are inching closer and closer. Next Monday night, I am nowhere near enough of a wordsmith to capture how excited I am for next Monday night. It's the big one. Circle it on your calendar. If you live down here in the Triangle area, get your butt to PNC. If you're not down here in the Triangle area, or you can't get to the game, you can watch the game live here on the Glenda Love Broadcasting Network. I will be doing the play-by-play. I've invited David Glenn from the David Glenn Show to join me as color commentary. Have yet to hear back. So, David, if you're listening, and I know that you are, the invitation's open. The headsets are available still. They're all yours, buddy. Just show up at the arena, plop them on your head. I'll adjust the volume, make sure you can be heard slightly less than me because I'm more important. But I would love to have you as a color commentary there for the game. It is, of course, I'm talking about the UNC Tar Heels taking on the North Carolina State Wolfpack in hockey at PNC Arena last year. The game in the spring, they had 2 or 3 last year. I don't even remember, but this year they've got 2. In the springtime last year, drew over 8,000 to the arena. People were blown away. It's become quite the rivalry here. It's become quite the game that you circle on the calendar. It's the big one you're looking forward to. So next Monday, which is only 6 short days away now, because today's Tuesday, at 7 p.m., we'll be facing off the Tar Heels, and the Wolfpack. We're going to have a couple of guests on this week. Tomorrow, we're actually going to have on Wade Minter. He is if you're a Caniac fan, and if you're a Carolina Hurricane fan, you know him as the PA announcer, or the host, if you will, when you're at the game, when the Hurricanes score. I mean, this guy gets fired up. He gets the crowd fired up. If you've been to any Hurricane games, you know him very well. He just has fun. He has fun the entire game. And when the Hurricanes score, you know it. When Hurricanes go on a power play, you know it. The guy just, he brings the passion into what he does. And I'm not sure if he selects the music or anything, but whoever the DJ is for the Canes games, and even for the other games that are at PNC, does a fantastic job. So I'm excited to have him on to talk about the big game at PNC, talk some Canes hockey. He will be on tomorrow. We're going to have a couple of players on throughout the rest of the week, going to be calling in, and Friday we're going to be doing the show remotely, I guess you could call it, although every show is really remotely, but we're going to be doing the show live from PNC Arena. We're going to have the coaches of both organizations on the show, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they may have a steak dinner waged, a friendly old, wager on the affair, but I don't like to speak for anybody else, but I think that has been going back and forth. There's been a lot of banter going back and forth on social media, a lot of trash talking going on. The players try to stay out of it, but then they get sucked back in. So it's fun. Looking forward to it, and these games usually, a lot of bad blood between these two organizations. So the officials tend to have you got to keep your ink full. For those games, there tends to be a lot of disagreements about the weather. A lot of guys getting together to discuss sunny, rainy. So that's next Monday night at 7 p.m. from PNC Arena. It's going to be absolutely. And like I said, if you can't make it to the game, tune in right here. Although I recommend if you're anywhere in the area down here, taking your kids to the games. Parking's free. I think it's $5. They ask just for a donation. Donation's full. But you don't even have to do that. But whatever, I don't get into the finances of things too often. Certainly, not my strong point of things. But the games are just fun. Looking very much forward to it. State's been on fire. They went 3-0 at the Stephen Russell tournament. They've got a game this weekend coming up against UNC Wilmington on Friday. and UNC is off till Monday, so they've been gearing up for what is the big one. So, like I said, if you can make it out, fantastic. If not, that's what I'm here for. Happy to help. So that's Monday night at PNC Arena, the big house where the Canes play, and they have been absolutely on fire. They lost the other night to the Jets, but that was their first tilt of the season where they did not acquire a point. So let's see here. Where are the standings here? Maple Leafs are off to a decent start. Guess they like their pajamas. $11 million pajamas. Hope they like them. They've got to win now. If they don't win this year or next year, they're in trouble. So, but I wouldn't mind being in their position right now. Okay, so the Canes are still in first place. Devils are 3-0. I told you. I love to tell you I told you so, and I'm telling you I told you so right now. All I heard time and time again during the offseason were the Devils are going to take a step back. Devils are going to drop off. Devils this, Devils that. I heard everywhere I looked, everywhere I read, people were picking them not to make the playoffs. People were picking them to come in like 10th or 11th, like competing for the bottom of the conference, and I just kept saying it, and I said it here. We talked about this. I said, what in the world makes you think that the New Jersey Devils are going to take a step back? What on their roster do you see makes you think they're going to take a step back? What in their coaching staff? They've got one of the best players in the game coming off MVP Hart, trophy season, and it baffled me. And they were young, strong defense, two good goaltenders. One's hurt right now. Real good, solid, just up and down. That team can score goals. They got Taylor Hall, like I said, one of the best players in the game. And all I heard was Devils. Yeah. Well, the New Jersey Devils, ladies and gentlemen, are in second place. They've only played 3 games. They're 3-0. They've got 14 goals for and 4 goals against. So, keep telling me about the Devils. Let's see who the Devils got coming up next. They play Thursday night home against the Avalanche, and then they're Saturday afternoon in Philly. That's nice. Oh, and then a big one next Thursday. They're home against the Predators. So, but I would expect them to beat the Avalanche on Thursday night at home, then a big one in Philly on Saturday, and if they could get off to a 4 out of 5, to start the season off. I mean, come on. But the Hurricanes was the original reason I came here to look. They're still in first place, but they've played 6 games, and they've got 9 points. Not that 9 points. They'll take 9 points. They'll take 9 out of 12 points every 12 points down the road. If you extrapolate that out, I bet you that's a lot of points. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial timeout. Not really commercial, but we will be right back in about 35 to 45 seconds. Leave you with some musica here to thoroughly enjoy. Let's see, what shall we listen to today? And then I will be right back with the rest of our show. There it is. Oh, just got a thing that came across. New power rankings are out. You know how I feel about power rankings. They're fantastic. Don't understand power rankings. I don't get them. They don't make any sense to me. Advertisement for the new Connor show. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. That show is gonna do almost as good as the First Man, that movie about the guys on the moon when they didn't show the American flag. Nice work. BRB. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Sometimes you gotta just stretch the legs. Sometimes it's just cause and effect. Me, chérie, I drank too much wine. Well, I didn't drink any wine today. Let's see. We got a Twitter questions coming at us. I was going back and forth with a couple of guys on Twitter earlier from Canes fan and Canes ombudsman. Okay. We were going back and forth about he wants to trade Justin Falk for Nylander from Toronto. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Why would you trade a top flight defenseman for a guy who maybe will score 20 goals as an average to above average player? They're a dime a dozen. You can get a 20 goal scorer in a lot of places in a lot of ways. In the NHL, I know scoring is not what it once was, and 20 goals is 20 goals, but just because you look at a guy and he's got 20 goals and 50 or 55 points, you have to look at the points, you have to look at when they were. I mean, Brock Nelson gets 20 goals and 50. Well, I don't think he got 50 points. Probably got 20 goals and 40 points. But anyway, 20 goals, you got to really look at what comes along with those 20 goals and what are you living, to give up for it. So we were going back and forth. He wants to give up Falk, and I was like, you're out of your mind. And he said they would have to give up more than Falk. I said, well, then you're even more out of your mind. But that's just me. I am a huge fan of Justin Falk. He's still only 26 years old because I happened to look it up because I was arguing with the guy on Twitter, and I couldn't believe that he was still that young. I knew he was young. I was guessing. I was like, yeah, he's still under 30, right? He's 26, so maybe he turns 27 sometimes. So the guy's right in the prime of his career. I don't know why. It baffles me. It baffles me beyond words. There are so many Hurricane fans that just don't love the guy. They're like, we're going to trade him. We're going to move him. He's our best chip to move. I'm like, you don't move a guy, that is a very good NHL defenseman, top 4 on, 90% of the teams in the NHL, top 2 on 50% of the teams in the NHL. Guys, his plus minus hasn't been great the last couple of seasons, but the team wasn't great the last couple of seasons, and he makes some bonehead plays sometimes in his own end, but I'd like to see him give me a full season with this guy on a defensive core like they have now, on a good team that they finally have now, and then let's see where you rate Justin Falk, and if you're going to move him for an average 20 goal scorer, I think you're out of your mind. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't trade the guy. You don't have to trade the guy. It's not like we're need to move money or loosen up anything salary cap wise. I think you're just out of your minds there. But that's me. So anyway, the Hurricanes are 4-1-1 in their first 4 + 1 + 1 is 6, and when's their next tilt? Oh, Hurricanes are playing the Avalanche on Saturday. Okay, so the two teams I talked about, the next tilts are against the Avalanche. Okay, that's right, they play the Avalanche on Saturday. I knew that because that was a funny little quirky thing that happened with our schedule. So they got the Avalanche, the Red Wings, the Sharks, and the Islanders coming up. Those are their next 4 over the next week. 3 of the 4 are home. Usually they play a lot of road games at the beginning of the season because the State Fair this year hasn't been too terrible for that happening. So that is that about the Canes. I expect them to. I don't know if they're going to get 9 out of every 12. Well, what would that be? What kind of season would we be talking about there? There's how many potential points are there in the NHL? Divided by 12. If they stayed on this current pace, which that's not gonna. They'd have 126 points. So yeah, they would definitely sign for 9 out of every 12 points that they come across. But that's not going to happen. Huge, monstrous college football week down here in the triangle, if you will. The Wolfpack are now ranked, I believe it's 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Where's this week? There we go. I love technology. Yes, they are ranked 16th now, and they're traveling to Clemson, who's number 3 in the nation, is just perennial playoff team. I don't know. Let me see. What's the line on this game? State's got to be getting double digits, I would think. Let's see real quick. NCAA football betting lines. Really quickly here, let's see. Vegas Insider has got it at Teddy. Oh my gosh, there's so many games. I'm really gonna have to use my peepers here and find it. I'm gonna look though. I'm not giving up. Are these games in any sort of? No. Like, are they in any order that would indicate when It's coming up, but the answer to that is no, my friends. Still, Western Michigan, Central Michigan. That's the big one I'm looking forward to this weekend. Keep going, keep going. Florida State's giving 11 to Wake Forest. Really? Wow, that's interesting. I remember hearing on the radio how Wake Forest was going to give Notre Dame a tough game a couple of weeks ago. No way. No way. NC State is getting 17 points. 17 points? Wow. Okay, I don't know much about college football, rosters and makeup of teams. I'm just shocked. I thought it'd be around 10. So that sounds like a lot. Because NC State has got a legitimate QB. So wow. So they're a 17-point underdog. They're a 16th ranked team in the nation going into Clemson. So if they could somehow, I guess you got to say, pull off a miracle, being a 17-point underdog, that's a lot. I'll tell you right now, I'm definitely going to put 50 cents on the Wolfpack on Saturday. One, because I'm rooting for them, and two, I'm winning 17-0. A fluke fumble, a field goal. I'm winning 20-0. I like winning 20-0. It's a good feeling. It's not going to be my lock, but I'm just going to go with the old betting with my heart, rooting for them anyway. Don't know much about either organization. Clearly, State not looked upon as a serious number 16 there. Let's see, who have they defeated? Have they defeated anybody that would, James Madison, Georgia State? No, the old Georgia State, let's see, they're Georgia State, they look like they got a dog there. What are they, the Georgia State whats? I'd like to know. Doesn't say. I wonder what Georgia State is. Definitely looks like a dog on there. Or it might be a panther. It might be panthers. Oh. Let me see. I'm going to look it up. I want to know. I want to know. Georgia State. Never even heard of it. Georgia State Panthers. Yep. All right. There you go. That makes sense. That was nice and simple. Thank you, Mr. Google. And now I can't wait to be getting emails about, do you want to go to a Georgia State football game? Here's tickets. Here's a flight to wherever the heck Georgia State plays. All right, that stuff's popping up on my Facebook. All right, let's see here. Anybody? Okay. Well, I was going to say they beat West Virginia. No, they didn't. That was canceled because of the hurricane. So they have not even played anybody in the top anything. They played James Madison, Georgia State, West Virginia was canceled, Marshall, Virginia, and Boston College. Yeah, okay. So I could see why they are getting 17. I can see that now. And this is the only game on the rest of their docket as of right now. Excuse me. That's even versus a ranked team. But the funny thing is, though, if they could somehow pull off, this miracle here this weekend, I would think that would pole vault them. I mean, they'd be 6-0. They would have defeated Clemson in Clemson. That's got to put them, up to, that would be interesting. I mean, do they leapfrog Georgia? Do they leapfrog, all those other teams? I mean, they win in Clemson, 17-point underdog. I would say that they would go all the way to 4. Notre Dame would pop up to 3 or 2. Alabama would probably stay 1. All things being, as they are, and things of that ilk. So huge, just, I guess I didn't realize they were 17-point underdog, but they are. So let's see if there's any other huge college matchups this weekend. That's huge down here, but they're getting 17, so I don't think the nation has got its eyes locked on that one. Ohio State's playing Purdue. I didn't see who's Bama playing. Who's the sacrificial lamb playing Alabama? Tennessee. Tennessee used to be a really ridiculously good program. It's a shame that they're not right now with the way Alabama is. That'd be a heck of a game. Is it in Tennessee? It's in Tennessee, so there'll be 110,000 people on hand. I mean, there probably still will be. Those fans up there are awesome. Up there? Over there? I'm not quite sure where exactly Tennessee lands on the map. But anyway, so that's the biggest game of the week, and it's huge for down here. And if they can somehow pull off the miracle, like I said, didn't realize they were 17-point underdog. But one thing of note, if you're a Giant fan, I would keep an eye on this game. I would certainly keep an eye on Finley, the QB from State. He may be your quarterback next season. You guys are, as I've stated, and I heard. I don't know what show was I watching this morning. think it was Boomer and Geo in New York. I was watching this, and they had somebody on just saying how the Giants blew it. They didn't draft Sam Darnold. They gave the Jets a gift, and this and that. And I'm not saying Darnold's not good. Darnold looks good, but in my opinion, and I said this earlier in the week. In my opinion, they couldn't have done better than to get Saquon Barkley, still have Manning in place. They're going to pay Manning anyway. So even if they had drafted a QB, he still probably maybe be looking at his first start this week, maybe, if Manning was doing as bad as Manning's been doing, which, I mean, logic would dictate he would be. So you wouldn't even be in the point where you have a rookie QB not making a lot of money because you're paying the other quarterback $25 million. You would not have Saquon Barkley, and, okay, maybe you'd have Sam Darnold coming off the bench this week, maybe, or maybe next week, or maybe next year. So, and then what are you going to draft next year? There's not going to be a Saquon Barkley there next year. There may be another Sam Darnold there next year, especially if you're picking first overall. So then you're looking at first overall, QB of your choice. They still may get a QB of their choice even if they're picking second or third, because a lot of the lousier teams like San Francisco, Arizona, Buffalo, although I wouldn't put Buffalo down with those guys, but I would say San Francisco, Oakland, Arizona, and the Giants are the bottom feeders, the bottom four, that the Giants are going to be contending with for the first overall pick. I would say the only one who would even consider a quarterback would be Oakland, and they've already paid Carr, so, I don't even know if they would. San Francisco, obviously no. Arizona, obviously not. So at worst case scenario right now, you're looking at the second quarterback taken in the draft, which is exactly what you would have been last year. So to do that and have Saquon Barkley, yeah, I completely disagree with any assessment that says that the Giants blew it by not taking Sam Darnold. So that's that. So the big one, down in Clemson, Saturday at 3:30, which I'll see none of, because Saturday we're going with the old divide and conquer. Got kids going in two different directions. We knew it was going to happen someday. This is the first time it's actually happening in our house, so I am going to be most displeased to miss one of their games. I don't even know which one I've been assigned to from corporate. I'm not sure. Have we gotten the assignment for me on Saturday yet? No, not yet. Okay. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. Let's see what's on the old NHL docket tonight, and then we'll dive into the pond that is Major League Baseball. I heard somebody was complaining yesterday about the atmosphere out in Dodger Stadium. One of the Dodgers said the atmosphere was dead. So whatever. I don't know. It's LA, dude. NFL. They don't play hockey in the NFL anymore, do they? No, they don't. NHL scores here. There we go. Okay, there's the Predators defeating the Wild. So Sophie got her lock there. Let's see. Tonight, on the old docket tonight, we got the Devils playing the Stars. I just looked that up. They told me the Devils were playing the Avalanche. Just looked it up. Devils are playing the Stars. I'll take the Devils there. Flyers and Panthers. Wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot calibrod. Avalanche and the Rangers. Go, Avalanche, go. The Canucks and the Penguins. Oh, the Hurricanes are playing the Lightning tonight? What? I looked these things up. They didn't say these teams were playing. Hurricanes are playing the Lightning tonight. Wow, that's another. The Hurricanes have had some really crazy tough games. They had the Wild, which they won in overtime. Then they had the Jets the next night. They lost that one 3-1. Now they're down in Tampa. That's going to be a good one tonight. Keep an eye on that one. Arizona and Minnesota. Ooh, that doesn't look good for Arizona. Edmonton and Winnipeg, not looking good for Edmonton. And Sabres at Vegas. Vegas has now decided to be an expansion team. Last year they weren't. This year they've decided to actually be an expansion team. So some good ones on the dock. I like the Devils and Stars. That's a good one right there. Of course, I'll have an eye on the Ranger game because of my despisatory feelings towards them. Hurricanes and Lightning. Where are the Lightning right now? Lightning. They get lost in the mix because you got the Hurricanes making a lot of noise. Of course, everybody's got their eyes on the Maple Leafs. The Canadians, 3-1-1. Look at that. Good for them. Good for you. Lightning, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Lightning are 2-1. Okay. The Lightning have only played 3 games. So many teams have played. Things are all over the place. Like the Maple Leafs have played 7 games, and Lightning have played 3. Lightning have played 3. Panthers, who I predicted preseason, I said, keep an eye on this team. This is a good team. They've got 1 point. But you don't mind that. It's early. They've only played 3 games as well. Colorado. Where's Colorado? How are they doing? Colorado is 3-1-1, 19 goals for, 12 goals against. Good. Like to see you come into New York and whack the Rangers around, who have a -6 there in goals. Islanders are at 2-2 and 0. Right, the Islanders are a 500 team. That's about where they're going to be all season, and that's better than I thought they would be. So good night on the old docket tonight. A couple of good ones there. I think the best game tonight is probably the Hurricanes and the Lightning. That's going to be a really good one, fun one to watch there, and Devils and the Stars. Good ones there to watch. We'll see if our lock comes from the NHL tonight. We'll see. I think the NBA starts tonight. I like the NBA. I'm not I despise the hockey fan that puts stuff out, on social media. This trophy's better than this trophy. NHL is better than hockey, better than the NBA. A player in the NBA gets a hangnail. Player and he's out for 3 weeks. A player in the NHL loses half his face, and he only misses a period. People who put that stuff up constantly and all the time. It doesn't. For me, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I'm not a huge NBA fan by any stretch. I definitely do enjoy the playoffs. But the game, another game that has changed so much with the advent of the, chuck 'em and well, not going to say the rest of it. With the amount of 3-pointers that are taken, it's essentially become, if a team can, is hot and can hit their 3-pointers, there's virtually nothing you can do to stop them. But I do believe the NBA does tip off tonight. Would that be tip off? Would that be the correct way to put it? So I sound like I know what I'm talking about there. Rod Sterling, CenturyLink Field, Google, Justin Falk. No. Steve Son, MLB, NBA. There we go. The NBA. Yeah, looks like the NBA. Oh, where'd you go? NBA does 2 games tonight. The 76ers at Boston and OKC at the Warriors. So, and the NBA has become, I guess, lackluster when Vegas has got the Warriors, at almost even money to win the championship. That's kind of takes a little bit away from me. Some people, whatever. I don't blame them. I don't mind them, trying to run away with things. They should. So if you're an NBA fan, that's kicking off tonight. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I'm not, that both baseball games will be going on tonight. There we go, at MLB. I like I haven't watched much playoff baseball at all. It's the least amount of playoff baseball I've watched in years. I blame myself. Let's see. Yep, at 5 o'clock, the Red Sox and the Astros that are tied at 1. That'll be 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Nope, not gonna be able to see that. Brewers Dodgers tonight at 9 o'clock. You know what? I'm gonna gamble on that game tonight, so that way it forces me to have interest in baseball and in a rooting interest. And I'm going to take the Dodgers. I'm going to take the Dodgers starting. I have no idea the line. I'm gonna put a quarter on the Dodgers tonight. Not gonna be my lock or anything like that. Just to make myself watch, because that's why I really thoroughly enjoy gambling on games that I normally wouldn't peruse. Let's see. There we go. The Dodgers are interesting. What does that mean? What does that mean? Where's that? I just want the line on the game, the baseball line. Oh, they're minus 150. Okay, so Dodgers. There we go. I got it. I'm sorry. Dodgers are minus 150. Okay, so if I lay a quarter, I'm going to lose a quarter plus 12 cents. That would be 37 cents plus the vig. So I'm risking 40 cents. I'm gonna do it. I'm writing it down right now. Take the Dodgers. Take LA. And the only reason I'm taking LA is because they're down 2-1. Like to see the series extended. For no other reason, and more reason to gamble, I'm going to put for 25 cents. Here we go, half of the famous rapper who cannot throw a baseball 2 feet in front of him. So we're going to do that. And Boston and Houston. I can't really pontificate much about baseball. I can name maybe 5 players right now that are playing still. Kershaw, Sale. That might do it. 2? Wow, that's pathetic. So I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know what I'm talking about. So if you're tuning in, for baseball insight and insiderness, I like the Dodger cap. Always did. Always have. always will. So NBA starting off tonight, which is another thing that's going to take away from people watching the NHL. I think I saw today that today is the anniversary of the Bears are who we thought they were speech given by Dennis Green after the game in Arizona. I think that was about 15 years ago now. That was one of the all-time great coaches' rants after a tilt. I'm so excited about that. Oh, I know what I wanted to pontificate on the hit. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I will put it up on my Twitter page. That the guy got he got suspended 2 games for. He was the Panther. Just trying to look up his name. I don't want to butcher it. Is it Pedersen? Yep, Elias Peterson. No, he's the guy who got hit. Okay, Pedersen. He's the one who got diagnosed with a concussion. No timetable for his return. That's why all this is happening. Michael Matheson. Yeah, okay. So if you haven't seen it, I'll put the hit up on my Twitter. You can let me know what you think about it. It was. They went behind the net. He was chasing the guy behind the net, pinned him up against the boards. As he hit him, his legs came up. The guy who got hit, his legs came up, and it was kind of parallel, I guess, to the ice for a split second, which is when the photograph was taken that everybody sees. It looks really bad. And then as he was coming down, because of gravity, nothing that Matheson did, he helped him on the way down, pushing him down. The hit was a legal hit. The pushing down, of course, was a little bit egregious. Certainly enough for a penalty. But the guy got a concussion from the impact. I didn't even see his head hit the ice. If he gets up, if Pedersen gets up and skates away, ladies and gentlemen, we never even see this highlight. It never makes anything except for maybe a Florida Panther highlight reel, for a commercial that they would use. So for this guy Matheson to be suspended 2 games, in my humble opinion, is a travesty. It was a penalty for pushing him, forcing him downward on his way down. Yeah, that was a bit okay. Didn't have to do that. But I saw people, flipping out about this all over the internet, insisting that he should get 10 games and this and that. And I tried to look. He's not somebody that has been suspended quite a bit. Let's see here. Bob McKenzie, Elias Peterson concussion, remains on a Vancouver, but will be seen any game action a minimum of 7 to 10 days, perhaps longer, depending on recovery. Okay, that sucks, and I don't wish anybody hurt. Travis Green, the Canucks coach, and I don't blame Travis Green. You got to protect your play. You come out and say stuff like it's a dirty play, it's a dirty hit, blah blah blah. Yep, he ended up getting 2 games. Last I saw for the hit. Like I said, I'll share the hit on Twitter. You can let me know what you guys think about it. I had it on my Facebook. I wrote, on my Facebook, this is ridiculous. It's not a suspendable hit. Some people chimed in. It was very dirty. Felt that he should be suspended, and some people chimed in agreeing with me, which, what you expect. You put something out there, you're going to get 50% who agree with you, 50% who disagree, and that's what I like. We're not here to all agree and get along and things of that ilk. So it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to look at our lock of the night here for where did I go? There we go. No. Gonna have to look at our lock of the night. It's gonna have to come from. Well, I wonder what the Warriors are giving. What are the Warriors giving? I might just go with the Warriors, but it's so hard to tell because of the 3-pointer thing. And there we are. Warriors. Ooh, 12.5. That's a lot. That's a lot of wood. And Boston's giving 5 to Philly. Now I wouldn't touch either of those with a 10-foot collar prod. So I don't know enough about baseball to make it a lock. So we're going to drift over to the NHL. I'd like to see what the Devils are. I kind of like the Devils. Let's see here. Because you deserve a lock, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to give it to you. Mills. No. That's not what I want. It's the money line. I don't want the money line. on. One moment. I apologize. I thought it would be there. That's all right. You don't mind that. Live TV and HL. Yep, I'm liking it. The devils are starting to grow on me inside my head. Let's see here. Right now, that's where I'm leaning. Do I have to do that? Really? That's not what I want. You're not the site I want. Ah, there we go. Thank you for your patience at home, ladies and gentlemen. I much appreciate it. Okay, here we go. The Devils are giving 1.5 to Dallas. Everybody's 1.5. It's like the lazy. See, Vegas doesn't understand hockey that well. That's why every line up and down is the home team giving 1.5. It's like the standard line to give there. Let's see what any over/unders jump out at me. No. I like looking when there's 5. Nothing's 5.5 there. Arizona, Minnesota 5.5. I can't do that. Oh, I don't like any of these at all. Not happy with anything I see here. I'm gonna have to hold. I'm not liking them, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna, not gonna affect your day if I say anything like that. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with Golden State. That's your lock of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The Golden State Warriors, GSW, as they're known, minus 12.5 points at home, opening up against OKC. Of course, with the craziness of three-point land and everything, that could easily be closed at the end. Could be a backdoor cover there. But I'm going to take it, write it down. It'll be on our Twitter feed and this and that and everything. Golden State minus 12.5. I'm confident with it. I usually go hockey most times during the week, or baseball. Well, baseball. But I am also going to be having 25 cents tonight on the Dodgers, but that's not the lock. And definitely going to be having 25 cents on the Wolfpack, getting 17 from Clemson over the weekend. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us on Glenda. You guys are all awesome. You guys are everything that makes this possible. Remember the lock of the night, Golden State Warriors, and I will have Sophie's lock of the night out this evening. She likes to make them after school. I asked her, I was like, do you want to make it, before school? And she said no. She doesn't. She likes to go to school, have her day at school, see how that goes, and then, the lock of the night, I guess, formulates in her head. And I was wrong, so can't really argue with her performance. So please tune in Saturday nights. Saturday night or Friday night? Sorry, Friday night. I got a lot of shows I'm doing nowadays, so I get confused. Friday night for Sophie's Sports and Toy Emporium. See how what toys she gets from the toy store due to her correct gambling. Sunday mornings, the Keeping It in the Family, Football, Family, and Food podcast, hosted by yours truly and Uncle Nonos, my brother-in-law. We talk football, we talk family, and we talk about food. Coming up for that for each and every Sunday, which is a lot of fun. And keep an eye out. The 500 Miles podcast is coming out this week. That's my own personal New York Islander podcast from a young man who lives 500 miles from his beloved barn he was raised in. And, of course, welcome to Glenda, your daily sports and entertainment talk show, which is on every day from 10:30 to 12:08. Tomorrow's guest, we're going to have Wade Minter from the Carolina Hurricanes, the PA announcer. Tomorrow's show, though, is actually going to start late. We're not starting at 10:30. We're going to start 11:15, 11:30. I have a mandatory thing I have to do at 10:30, but we will just shift the show a little bit later, so just be aware of that. It'll be on all our social media and everything, so it'll be a little bit later, but it'll be live tomorrow. Hopefully I'm looking to start by 11:30. We'll see if what I have to do I get done doing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to anybody. I am really, really hungry. So you go and enjoy your lunch. I'm going to go enjoy your lunch. Thank you so much for joining us on Glenda today. I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope all your locks come through tonight. I hope all your fantasy players come through tonight. Enjoy the start of the NBA if that's your thing. Enjoy the continuation of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Of course, there's some really quality hockey games on tonight. I myself am looking forward to the Canes and the Lightning. That's going to be the big one I'm going to have my eyes on tonight when I get home. And that's about it. Once again, thank you guys all so much. Got to get my exit music here. You got to have exit music, because when you can cut the rug like I can, it's a responsibility. You don't just take it for granted. So With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your evening, and you can follow us on Twitter at Glenda Love BC and on Facebook at the Glenda Love Broadcasting Company. And I wish you all the best of nights, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for coming by on Glenda. Good night, everybody.